All right, folks, Cannonball Cats hunting on a budget, Texas. I'm back with the same rifle, Ruger American Heatseeker 6mm ARC, and this is the performance review, of course, the range report. I don't have range footage per se. I don't have that kind of camera system, but I do have the targets I can show you, and I can show you the ammo that was used, and let you know how this firearm performed out there. So anyhow, let's get right into this. Right now, I don't have, these are not shown in the particular order, but this is the ammo that was tested. This is Hornady ELD Match 6 ARC 108 grain ELDMs, of course. Of course, we got Precision Hunter 6 ARC 103 grain ELDX, Hornady Black 6 ARC 105 grain Boattail Hollow Point. We've got HSM 6 ARC 95 grain Burger VLD Hunter ammunition, and we've got HSM 95 grain Hornady SST ammo. The magazines that I used, this is what came with the rifle. This one is the, not the ASC. Hang on a second. There it is right there. There's the Duramag. We can see that this is the magazine that actually came with the rifle. This is a 10-round magazine, but I could be mistaken. But mind you, I could only get 8 rounds in it. Sorry, I keep pausing the video. I'm having to clear my throat constantly. Got a little bit of crud down there in South Texas with the weather, or some mold or something causing some allergies. But anyhow, this is the magazine that actually came with it. These are some additional magazines that I have that I utilize with my 6 ARC ARs. And these 3 magazines are all ASC magazines. And just giving you a quick viewpoint of those, so you can see everything. This one here is a 15 round magazine. I haven't put 15 rounds in it. I don't use this ammunition in the AR for plinking like the normal person would do in a 5.56 or what have you. This ammunition's a lot more expensive per shot and per round. So I use this ammunition for a little bit of plinking, but for target shooting and hunting. So there's no rapid fire going on. I don't need a bunch of rounds in a mag so I can pop off 15, 20, 30 rounds in a matter of 15 seconds, because I'm looking for hits and accuracy, and that's my enjoyment. But anyhow, back to this. So the firearm, quite honestly, the firearm performed flawlessly with all 4 of the magazines. All 4 magazines loaded, unloaded rounds, and were picked up by the rifle, by the bolt, and loaded in smoothly in every aspect. I used them each with some different loadings. I can't tell you which one went with which box, but every one of them performed admirably. I had no problems with the functionality. The function was basically 100%. And the only time I think I had a little bit of a tight lockup with the bolt was with the Precision Hunter. And I don't know if it's just the overall cartridge length or what have you, but those seem to be, a little bit longer along with the ELDMs, and it just seemed like it was a little bit harder, when you're coming and closing to get it, where sometimes you got to fight that down. I think that's just because of how far it was into that chamber. Might have been getting into the lands a little bit, but nonetheless, functionality was 100%. And so let's get into the accuracy. I do have one item I want to advise everybody on. If you see this bolt shroud here, before I get into accuracy, this bolt shroud is a problem. This is Anarchy Arms bolt shroud. I did not buy it from Anarchy Arms, but it is an Anarchy Arms bolt shroud. Anarchy Arms does sell these where you can choose on their website Gen 1 or Gen 2. I believe, in my opinion, that there is a difference in the bolt shrouds, and I will show you that shortly. Where I purchased this one from was a very good vendor, and they advertised just one bolt shroud model. I I bought it, and it did create a little bit of a problem with the functionality of the safety system, and I'll go through that in a second. Let me go ahead and pull the bolt shroud off and show you exactly what we got. I'm gonna pause it real quick so you don't have to see that. Okay, folks, I'm back. So basically what you've got is with the plastic bolt shroud with the Ruger American, you know, it's a little bit loose, a little bit flimsy, and when you go to an aftermarket bolt shroud like Anarch produces, it obviously sits on there a little bit tighter. They say it improves functionality and that it improves consistency. I don't know whether that's true or false. That's their claim to fame with it. I think it looks cool. I like having metal parts. If I can stay away from some plastic pieces around the bolt, and that's why I did it. Of course, I went with anodized red because you guys see all over the gun, it's got red all over it, and because I like red. But anyhow, one of the problems that you have with this bolt shroud, and you can see where you can see I've modified it right there. I'll go into that in a second. With the 3-position safety and how the bolt locks up. So let me put the bolt back. This is, of course, the bolt shroud's not on here, but this is how the bolt normally sits. And when you put it into the action and you lock the handle down, this little cut right here, okay, this little cut spins across and spins over and comes to this side of your bolt. See if I can show you. It comes to this side of your bolt. Everything's backwards here, so you have to kind of see it upside down. But it comes to this side of your bolt, and this is where the safety operates and functions, where it slaps up and has this 3-position safety. One position being the firing position where it's fully laid down. Half up position is safety position but unlocked bolt, and then fully up, fully extended is a full safe position with a locked bolt. What happens is with this bolt shroud, okay, if you look at this side and it's solid, this side is exactly the same. This is how this came. And with this side over here, to go into the full bolt lock and safety position, you could see it was marring this piece of this bolt shroud here. Not marring it to the effect that it was just scratching it operational. It was marring it and hitting it, but you could not actually put the safety into the fully locked position. So essentially, once I put this on, I had rendered myself to a firing weapon and a half safe position, which put the trigger in safe mode. It wouldn't fire, but it left the bolt unlocked. But I couldn't use the third step, which locks the bolt down. So what I ended up doing was I took my Dremel and see if I can show you. You can see how I took it and I dremeled that down to a point, and then that got it where the safety arm could manipulate. And then I also, and I'll turn it this way so you can see that, I also had to kind of half moon the top because it was still catching on the edge over here, and it was hitting that. So half mooned it, dremeled it down. Now it functions perfectly. The entire firearm functions perfectly. You can't even see this. The reason why this is black, this is anodized aluminum, of course, is I have some, I use this cold blue. It's called aluminum black touch-up pen. And so once I did everything, I just kind of put that on there. It's a little bit ugly, but again, when it's installed in place, you can't see it. I can't see it. No big deal. So that's that. But anyway, it's a fix, and it works. And it basically sits like that on here. And this is that. Now maybe you can reference this piece right here. This little cutout. When you close the bolt and it's locked in place, it slides over to this point and it aligns with that cutout that I have now. So it does provide full functionality now at this point. It was a little bit concerning for me previously, of course. I'll just leave the bolt out for right now. But we got that fixed. All right, back to business. So let me grab the targets. Let me set up a seat real quick and let me go over with you. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. So this isn't scripted or anything, folks. I just kind of wing it when I talk. So bear with me. I'm going to try and go through this quick because, I mean, we're already at 5 minutes and I'm trying not to make this another one of these 40-minute videos that you usually see from me when I'm doing upgrades or building out things. So, but anyhow, so I got the target here. I'll give you some parameters here in a minute. But the first 3-shot group that I shot yesterday was, after I had the rifle sighted in where I wanted it, was right here with this HSM tipping point or the SST, and it shot this group right here. Okay, and that group right there, it's okay. I mean, that's the first group, and that's HSM 95 grain SST. The group measurement was 0.613 inches, and that is just a shade under 1 1/4 MOA. The reason why I'm telling you this is because all of my shooting was done at 50 yards. So what I'm doing is I'm assimilating this to an MOA rating as well as giving you the measurement of the group. So again, it was a 0.613 inches, and that would put us at just under 1 1/4 MOA at 100 yards. Okay. It gets better and then it gets worse. So my next round that I shot with, my next group was with the Hornady Black 6mm arc, 105 grains, and that was this group right here. So you can see that was a pretty good little group right there. That group was 0.298 inches. So at 100 yards, that would be just over a half MOA. So it would have been around 0.6 plus or minus at 100 yards. And so that's pretty good. It really, I can see that it likes that ammo. Mind you, all of this took place in between, all these shots took place within between about 1 to 2 minutes. I already had magazines loaded. I only had to reload the magazine one time for the final rounds, but actually I took 6 groups, but so I had to load 2. But anyhow, about 1 to 2 minutes rest in between each group. So not really allowing the barrel to cool, not really going back to any type of cold bore or even warm bore. After this first group of 3, which happened after the zeroing, everything kind of went repetitively in motion and one after the other. So the barrel stayed pretty warm and it got hotter. I don't know if that affected the performance on the last couple shots. I don't think it really did, and I'll show you why here in a minute. But the barrel did get hotter as we fired, and I did not allow it to cool back. So apply whatever you want scientifically to that, is what it is. So anyway, the Hornady Black, just under half MOA, outstanding round, outstanding performance on that one. The next one that I shot, 103 ELDX Hunter, right? Oops, ELDX Hunter in the 6 arc. And this is what we produced here. So you can see that one there. That one produced a group at 0.491 inches. That would also be just under 1 MOA. That was going to be around 0.9, a little over. So just or a little under. But anyway, just about 1 MOA or just a little under. So it obviously liked this ammo as well. This was the 3rd group. Nice group. The gun was shooting really well. The recoil is very minor, so I'm very happy with it. The 4th group was with the ELD match ammo. And you know, it's funny, I've seen different results with these on different guns, and that ELD match, everybody says it does so good. It's varied with me, and it definitely didn't care for it too much here. There's the group right there. That was the 4th group, 4th round shooting. And that came out to a 0.772 inches, which is, in the MOA world, would put it at just a little bit under 1.5 MOA. Hunting, yeah, but it's not really a hunting round. It's a match round, so you would expect it to be one of the tops. And I get it. Oh man, that's your 4th group. You shot 3 groups before it, and now you're starting to see the heating of the barrel with the spread, and you're starting to see it kind of open up, right? Wrong. Here's why. So the next group I shot was with the 95 grain Burger VLD, right? Trophy Gold, Beer VLD Hunting. And this is the group that it did. And this was the group right after the Hornady ELDM. Now look, I ain't harping on the ELDM for being bad ammo. So all you fanboys out there, don't get your panties in a wad and start throwing a bunch of ridiculous comments about how foolish this is. Okay, all I'm saying is that in my experience and my samples, I'm just seeing mixed results with Hornady ELDM. It's not a bad round. It's not a good round. It's not any round. It's just like any other ammo. It's going to work in some rifles. It's not going to work in others. Happens to not be the most successful round in my rifles. But anyhow, going back to this. So this is the Burger, the VLD, and that group right there you can see is a hell of a group. That one came in at a 0.453 inches. So that also came in at under 1 MOA. So, you know, would have been around the 0.9 to 0.95 mark, but still under 1 MOA at 100 yards. So, you know, a good hunting round. The final round that I did, or final round of 3 that I did was, I wanted to go back to the first group, which was the HSM 95 grain Hornady SSTs, and do another 3 rounds just to see maybe with the barrel heated up even more, maybe they would perform better, maybe worse, I don't know. But, you know, it wasn't that great at the beginning, so I wanted to give it one more chance at the end. And at the end, this is what it produced. It's the one in the center here. And essentially, it produced very similar to being the very first group. Right there, this last one was 0.7 inches, so it was just under 1.5 MOA. And the first group that I shot with it was a 0.613, which was just right a hair under 1.25 MOA. So that tells me that ammo is pretty consistently going to be a 1 to 1.5 MOA per performance in this firearm. But I did have some of these good results with the Hornady Black, with the Hornady ELDX, and with the HSM Burger 95s. And it appears to me that it does like that grain weight. Maybe it's the way the firearm's rifled. Maybe it's the grain weight. You know, maybe it doesn't like the ELD match because it's 108 grain and it's getting a little bit out of the realm of how it likes to stabilize bullets. I don't know. Okay, you can get as scientific as you want, but it's all a matter of opinion. Nobody really knows for sure, right? But anyway, so what it produced was that produced out of all 6 groups, that produced an overall average of 0.55 inches when I took the inch measurements from everything and I just put it to an average, took all 6, added them up, divided by 6, came up with 0.554. So I just put 0.55. So it averaged out as a 0.55 inch group, which is basically right at 1 MOA. I know that's just a shade over, but I'm just calling it right at 1 MOA. So what that tells me, folks, is that this firearm, this Ruger American Gen 2 Ranch with the 16.1 inch barrel and the 6mm ARC is a 1 MOA gun. That's what it tells me. It's not a half MOA gun, not a quarter MOA gun. It's not really a 1.5 or 2 MOA gun, though we had some rounds it didn't like. But you combine them all together and you look at the performance and you choose the ones that are best suited and perform best within this rifle. It's a 1 MOA gun, maybe a little better as time wears on. You know, I've got the factory trigger in here and not a big fan of it. Doesn't really have any creep. It's got a little over travel, doesn't really have any creep, but I like my triggers a little bit lighter. And the lightest I could get this down to was about 3.5 pounds. And that's with it fully lightened to its extent. So I'd like to see that trigger a little bit lighter. Maybe I'll go with a Timney in there, see if I can get it down to about 2 pounds. It's a hunting rifle and a target shooter, yes, but more of a hunting rifle as well. So I don't need a 1 pound trigger. I could go with a jarred if I wanted to go down to, 12, 14, 20 ounces, something like that. And who knows, maybe I'll make that decision and do that. But I do think that the trigger did hold me back just a little bit. So I think it maybe could have been a little better. Then again, I don't know. I mean, the Hornady Black put a 0.298 inch group at 50 yards, which would have been just a little over .5, a little over a half inch at 100 yards, assuming I did everything right and did it the same way, right? So I don't know. What I do know is that it's going to be a good hunter, and it worked out really well. Uh, it's a wonderful shooting firearm, and in that Heatseeker chassis, it is just an amazing looking firearm. The only thing is, just remember one thing: if you put this in a Heatseeker chassis or something, you're going to need a buttstock that has a good elevation level to its cheek riser. The mounts I have on here, of course, I'm using what would be considered a cantilever mount, even though it's not really a full cantilever style, but it's an arcing mount after I sent back that piece of crap, Warren Skyline that's stripped out. And I just used this one I had on hand, $60, and it works beautifully. And I spent $200 thinking I was going to get something better. Go figure. Anyway, back to it. But nonetheless, this mount is about 1.4 to 1.5 inches center height mount. So requires me to have my cheek riser at about 3/4 of an inch to get a good cheek weld and get a good sight picture, maybe closer to an inch or so, más o menos. But so you could get some lower mounts. Just look. You just got to watch how they react with the front section of the Heatseeker, because it does have that over piece on the stock itself. And if you have a big long scope and you have it forward mounted quite a bit, it might make contact with that. The scope I have on here, this Burris XTR3, is a shorter scope. It's only 13 inches long, and it sits and fits perfectly on this firearm. So it works out perfect. The elevation is just right, and the length of pull is just right. The way I have this adjustable carbine buttstock set up. So all in all, folks, I'm extremely happy about it. Probably won't see this gun again unless I shoot a deer and I want to put something on it. But when I shoot that deer and how it performed on an actual animal. But otherwise, that's what I got. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. I have a lot of high expectations for this rifle to stick with me for a long, long time. And then I've got some other videos coming up with some other range reports. Again, you guys know I got to get a couple more out to the range so I can give you some updates on those and how they perform as well and how they function. But anyhow, I hope everybody's having a great start to their Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody enjoys your Labor Day weekend. Enjoy Monday off. If you get Monday off, take the time to relax, reload, decompress, and get ready to go back to our jobs with a better attitude, better mentality, and the desire to do a great job and have that pride that we know we need to have. So with that, folks, I'm signing off. As always, God bless you. God bless America. And God bless Texas. Cannonball Cats, I'm on a budget, Texas. I'm out.